Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I've realized that a lot of you are not subscribed, so you could subscribe and you can always change your mind. So with that said, let's begin. Today we're going to talk about the fact of being accepted and seeking the truth. Now, since we all know a lot of people in this world could relate to this, that we were all kicked out from places, from yeshivas, schools, all of those kind of places, just simply for stupid reasons, politics or Narishkeiten and all these different kind of things. So let's start discussing all these different things. My opinion is that number one, that we should, as a kid, learn Zohar. Not all of it, but some parts of it. And again, those very same Rabbunim who kick us out, instead of kicking us out and instead of not accepting us and instead of making us feel different and instead of making us feel nothing worth, those same very Rabbunim should have, or I should say from now on should, figure out what Zohar should be learned in the Chadurim, in the schools, and what parts. And we should all start learning it, so we should all start knowing what this world is all about, what Hashem is all about. The world came to a point of so much evil, full of evil and all this stuff, that none of us know anymore what's going on. None of us know anymore what's the purpose on this world. And all of those Rabbunim are just sitting back and enjoying their money and real estate and all these things, instead of doing the right thing, focusing on bringing Mashiach and focusing on bringing people back to Hashem and all these different things. And they serve their egos instead of serving Hashem. And I'm not saying that they want to be like that. It's just that we all turn out to be bad at some point for whatever reason it is. And I think it's a moment of truth to talk about it and see what we can do about it. Again, I don't know if my videos will be heard throughout the whole world or throughout even a quarter of the world. So far, I mean, not that I care about it much. I mean, I wish that people would start saying the truth, or I wish it would be different than it is now, that people who says the truth, as of right now, it was till now the people who said the truth were shut down and kicked out and all these things, wasn't even heard. There was a lot of haluchos and sfuras why this guy is not supposed to be heard. I'm just going to give you like a few examples. I'm not going to talk about other people, it's not nice. I'm going to talk about myself, and if you could relate to that, you should start speaking your mind and should start speaking up. About me, I'll give you a few examples. For example, when I was born, I don't know if you can see it in some of my videos, you can see it, some of my videos you can't. I was born with one lazy eye. I was born and when I was 1 year old, I went through a surgery on my eyes to try to fix them. And I guess I could say it worked, but I guess I could say at the same time that my eyes are different than a lot of people. I could try to show you now that when I look with this eye straight, this eye looks that way, the opposite. So when I try to look straight, either my head tilts a little to one side or I see it this way, kind of thing. So, and because of that, I wasn't like fully functioning, focusing in Chayder. Because of that, I mean, a lot of people could relate, maybe not relate to the problem, but, to the eye problem, but a lot of people could relate to the fact that on the behalf of feeling not accepted or all of these different things. I was in Chayder and I wasn't fully like focusing. So besides the fact that I got hit so many times from the rebels and all these different things, and besides the fact that I was kicked out from yeshivas and all these things, because they all were saying that I'm not supposed to be in yeshiva, or not supposed to be learning, or not supposed. Like, I'm trying to think, who are those people? I'm not gonna say any names in my videos at all because it's Lashon Hara. I'm just gonna say the stories as it is without names, so you understand the idea. Now, when I was 16 years old, I was kicked out from 10 yeshivas, and I actually went to the first yeshiva before I was 14 years old, before I actually was the age of yeshiva, because of the fact that I wasn't exactly accepted anywhere, due to my situation. Now, later on, when I realized, when I was 16 years old, I was, of course, the goy of the market, the shaigas of the market, because I don't want to be in yeshiva anymore, I don't want to try anymore, and all these things. And because of the fact of my, this is another part that we could put in here actually also, that a lot of us, because of the fact that we didn't feel accepted, we kind of like took different turns. And that comes to a point that at some point we forget about who God is, and we forget about what God is all about, and we forget about what the Torah is all about, and we forget about all these different things. So now, with that being said, let's move on. That the school system, the yeshiva system, the system has to change. A lot of neshumas are going down. A lot of neshumas are falling apart. Yiddishkeit is falling apart, and the Rabbunim are no one to say that, except for the people like me who actually went through it, to say that Yiddishkeit is falling apart. The Rabbunim are the ones who actually made us fall apart. The Rabbunim are the ones who kicked us out. For example, let's pick a topic of Satmar. The Rabbunim were the ones who kicked us out because our fathers didn't have enough schar limud to pay tuition, or because we went into the wrong shul. So let's say if you were holding from one Rebbe and you went into a different Rebbe shul, you were kicked out because you don't belong to this Rebbe, and so and so and so and on and on and on. While a lot of us fell apart. And I think that it's time to say that we have to do something about it. None of us want to be bad. I'm not saying that Rabbunim want to be bad. It's just that they went up from being a regular person to a Rebbe, and it comes with a lot of kuvod and gava, and comes with ego. And that's why they say that not everyone could become a Rebbe. And that's why they say that the people who are oiven un on this world will be in the back, the people who are on the Mizrach wall in this world will be on the Marav wall, and when Mashiach comes, for that reason, because we don't know what's right and what's wrong, and the Rabbunim wanted to become Rebbes just to be big, just to become big and become like big people. For example, I'll give you another example. When I moved from Borough Park to Lakewood, I wanted to put my son into a cheder, and he was at first in the cheder, then he was kicked out because someone from Borough Park, no names, as I said, I'm not going to remind any names, someone decided to put some bad rumors on me. For what reason? Ego reason. So, and then of course you have all the people siding with this guy, with that guy, you know what I mean? And it's also wrong. Who are you to side with this one or with this one when you weren't even there and you don't even know the truth, right? So with that being said, I'll move on, fast forward, as we say. I tried I was begging the Chadurim to take my son, and in the same time another thing played out, because some people wanted to satisfy their ego, so they were saying, now it's like this. I used to have a job that I finished work at 12 o'clock at night. Now, I wanted still to learn during the day. With that, with everything that I went through, I still wanted to learn something during the day. So I went into a shul in my area, my neighborhood, and I learned every night until the Yetzer Hara himself came and tried to disturb it. For example, one of the times that I was learning over there, I had someone by the learning who had his hoodie on. So because he didn't want to wear a yarmulke for whatever reason, whatever his pain he went through, whatever the case may be. I'm not here to judge anyone. Again, I want to specify that part that I'm not judging the Rabbunim either. I'm not judging no one. All these things I'm saying is that we should all realize that we have to change to the better, and we have to focus on changing to the better. Now, if you're a Rebbe and you feel that your ego drove you south, then I think that it might be a hard thing to do, but resign from your Rebistava. If you are someone who is a big activist in the community or in the Shil or in the Cheder or anything like that, and you feel that your ego drove you somewhere south, then I think resign. Find a different job. I don't know what to tell you, but at the same time, you don't want to be the reason why a lot of neshumas went bad. You don't want to be the reason. You don't want to take it upon yourself unless you don't care, which I don't think so. I think it's more that we don't feel it more than we don't care because of the world turned out to be that way, so we don't feel it anymore. But I think that the people like me should start speaking out. Yes, we are different. Yes, we are, call it ADHD, call it any way you want. As I said before, I was born with a problem in my eyes, so I cannot focus as fast. So because of that, I didn't fit into any yeshiva. And I'm sure that a lot of people could relate to that because of the problems they had, or because of the problems they had at home, or because of any of those kind of things. They weren't fit for yeshivas, and the yeshivas wouldn't help them. Instead of helping them, they would show them the way out, which is wrong of the yeshivas doing that. I'm not saying that the people who did it wanted to be bad or wanted to do wrong, but in fact, I know a lot of people, and those are the people who I try to be friends with, as a matter of fact, the people who are kicked out because they never felt accepted. And the more I do it, actually, the more friends I make, because I never judge anyone, and I never tell anyone you're a bad person. The most I would tell a person that is that you have a bad ego, or work on your ego, or any of those kind of things. And as a matter of fact, that me personally, when I would criticize someone, I would do it constructively, as of sending them a way of getting out of their problem. Meaning, the most I know, I don't know much, but the little that I know, I would do that. For example, one of the guys that were involved in getting me, down the drain, I sent him a piece of Zohar that tells you what the Rabbeinu Shloim does when people learn at night. So he should get the idea of what he did wrong so he could change it. And so and so and so. I could give you a million examples. But point being that people like me don't feel accepted, and people like me are the way they are because of that reasons, because we don't feel accepted or whatever the case may be. And I think it's time now to speak up for that. I think it's time now for the people like me to speak up and let the world know that we are here to be accepted. I know it's hard, and at the same time, I don't want it to turn out like in a fight that a lot of people should be against the Rabbunim, because the Rabbunim, all they meant was good. That didn't mean any bad. It just happened to turn out bad because of their ego, and I think it's very wrong. For example, people look at me as a bad person, but on my sleeve I have half shas on me that I learned. I have that I used to finish every week the parsha. I have that I used to learn every day Shulchan Aruch, Orach Chaim, Rambam, Zohar. I used to learn all these things, and I still remember it, and I still do that. I don't finish every day the parsha right now because of my Yetzer Hara, and I'll be honest with you. I wish that could change, and that's why I'm speaking out, because I don't think it's fair. I think that every one of us want to do all these things. It's just that we didn't feel accepted, and it's very hard for us to do any of those things since we never felt accepted. And I think it's the right thing to say and the right thing to do is speak out and start. If you want to learn, and don't be afraid. I'm fully with you. If you want me to go with you, I'll go with you. I'm fully with you. That's all what I'm here for. And as much as bad I do, as we all do bads, and we don't never mean it. That's why we have Shiva, because we never mean to do bad. None of us mean to be bad, and none of us want to be bad. It just happens that way. And I'm fully with you. I'll sit down with you in any shul you want and learn with you. And not only me, I think that all Rabbunim should start doing that, regardless of how you look, regardless of how we all look. I don't think it's fair that we should be kicked out because, for example, the reason why some of us don't want to go with a couple, with a yarmulke, is because the Rabbunim kicked us out. So what's the point of being Jewish? But in the bottom of our hearts, the deep in our hearts, deep in our subconscious brain, we all want to learn. We all want to do the right thing. We just don't feel that wearing yarmulke is the right thing, or keeping Shabbos is the right thing, or keeping kosher is the right thing, or putting tefillin on is the right thing, because those very people who tell us to do that are so wrong by kicking us out and by not accepting us. So the Rabbunim are supposed to be our heroes while they're not. So I think it's fair to say that if you have an opinion, you should just say it. I think it's fair to say that we all have a lot of anger and a lot of emotions that drives us to do bad, and that's why we do those kind of things. You see, me looking at me, I'm not saying I'm a tzaddik. I'm way far from a tzaddik. But for example, me looking at me, I'm gonna say it out loud. The only reason I cut my payas off was because those people who told me that the Eibishter wants you to have payas, those people have ego, and those people don't do the right thing as well. So just because they wear payas does not mean they do the right thing. And it might be wrong for me to cut it off, but at the same time, if I would feel accepted, I wouldn't do it, right? And the same goes to all of the other things that we all do. Now, the Rabbunim are the ones who have to show us acceptance. The Rabbunim are the ones who have to show us that they care about us. The Rabbunim are the ones who have to take us and be like, no matter how you look, come, let me do what you do, so you feel accepted. The Rabbunim are the ones who have to not be so like, oh no, it doesn't pass for me to go into a restaurant. No, it does pass for you to go into a restaurant. You know why? Because by you going into a restaurant, you show the regular people, the people like us, that we are not different than you. And as much as you want to be different than us, you are not. You're just the same human as us. It's okay to go into a restaurant. It's okay for you to go into a grocery, and it's okay for you to help someone get closer to Hashem. Not only the people, the Mitziyunim. People like us also want to be close to Hashem. People like us also want to be in Shil, comfortable. People like us also want to be accepted in Chadurim, in Moises, Yeshivas, all these things. People like us also have Yetzer Hara, the same as you. Just because you sit by the Mizrach next to the Batfila doesn't mean that you're allowed to talk by davening. People who sit by Oivnun next to the Batfila don't mean that you are allowed to talk by Leinan. If the Shulchan Aruch says that you're not allowed to talk by Leinan, you also not allowed to talk by Leinan. If the Shulchan Aruch says that you're not allowed to talk by davening, you also not allowed to talk by davening. Same goes to any of us. So, same as you have a Yetzer Hara to talk by davening, same we have a Yetzer Hara to talk by davening. Same as you have a Yetzer Hara to do any of those things, we have the same Yetzer Hara. Just because nobody judges you because you're a Rebbe doesn't mean that you could judge us and kick us out from shuls. Just because no one kicks you out doesn't mean that you can kick us out. Just because your people accept you does not mean that you can kick us out from your shul. You know, just because you become big doesn't mean that we became small. You become big, that means that you have to take us with you. Why do they say that Moshe Ho Yoroya? Moshe was our pastor. Why? Why do they say that? Because Moshe was our leader. Because Moshe was big and he didn't divide himself from us. He brought us with him. All the Eden did the Eigel. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who fought for us. Hashem wanted to erase the whole world. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who fought for us. Instead of Moshe Rabbeinu saying, yeah, wipe them out, they're not good. No, Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who fought for us. Moshe Rabbeinu was the one who said that if you want to delete them, delete me as well. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu did. And I think that all the Rabbunim should learn from that. I think that all the Rabbunim should take that as a lesson, not to kick out people, not to throw away neshumas, not to kick people out from schools. There's no reason if a Yiddish neshuma wants to go into a Yiddish school, cheder, yeshiva, or even go into a Yiddish shul to... The reason the person goes into a shul is because he seeks God. If you kick him out, you show him that those beliefs that we have is wrong. So we go look out for other beliefs. And that's why, unfortunately, a lot of us don't keep Shabbos, don't put film every day, don't eat kosher, and many of those other things. You can see it by when you ask from one of us a favor, we'll do it with a full heart. Why? Because we are good people. When you ask a Rebbe a favor, he probably won't do it for you. Not because he's not good, because he's better than us, and that's very wrong. When you ask Ugefuhrene Mensch for a hitch, he'll give it to you. Why? Because he is a good person. When you ask Ugefuhrene Mensch for $1, he'll give it to you because he is a good person. I see it within all my friends that I have. And I'm not saying that I don't have friends, Hasidic people or people with pious or Rabbunim. I'm saying that within my friends, I have a lot of friends. They look like me and they are like me. And we are all good people. We're not bad people. When we do a favor to someone, we mean it with a full heart. When we, for example, shovel the snow in front of our house, we don't shovel the snow so we don't slip. We shovel the snow so other people don't slip. That's the difference. For the people who sit in the Malatoyre Valavoida all day, those people gotta understand that we are also humans, and they gotta understand that we are here. We also want to connect to Hashem. We just don't know how to. Subconsciously, we want to connect to Hashem. That's why we still do favors to each other. And I've seen like a lot of people like me do favors to people who don't look like us, people who kicked us out, people who threw us to the garbage. Why we still do favors to those people is because we are still humans, and subconsciously we want to be good people. Subconsciously we want to be connected to Hashem. So I think that the Rabbunim have to start switching their roles in politics, as we say. There's no reason for us to be kicked out. We might have the sticker on us, care with how you say it, handle with care, or any of those kind of things. And I think that the Rabbunim are the ones who is going to be responsible for all of us. And I think that the Rabbunim are the ones who have to change. We all want to be good people, and we all want to serve Hashem. And proof of that is that if you ask a favor from one of us, we'll do it to you with a full heart. Proof of that is that when you ask us $1 by the grocery, we'll give it to you. When you ask us, hold the door for a second, we'll do it for you. Why? Not because any other reason, just for the fact that we are still good people, and we just don't, subconsciously, we want to connect to Hashem. Subconsciously, we want to be good. Subconsciously, we want to be learning Torah. It's just that the Rabbunim didn't accept us, so that's why we keep away from learning Torah. I'm talking about now consciously. We keep away from learning Torah. We keep away from keeping Shabbos. We keep away from eating kosher, because those things never meant to us from the people who threw us away, who kicked us out, who did never accept us. So what? We look different than you. So what? We are different than you. That means that what? That we're not supposed to be connected to Hashem? Who are you to decide that? Who are you to decide who has room in your shul or not? Who are you to decide who is accepted to learn Torah and who is not accepted to learn Torah? The Halacha says that one thing only, that only means that if somebody wants to become Jewish, you have to try to push him away. But somebody who is born Jewish or somebody who is already Jewish, it doesn't say anywhere that you should push him away. And by you pushing him away, you will pay the price. By you pushing us away, you will be responsible. By you pushing us away, your Torah goes to the Sitra Achra. And if you don't want your Torah to go to the Sitra Achra, I think that you all Rabbunim should change. No matter who you are, no matter from where you are, no matter where you live, no matter where your shul is, no matter what. When you're a small shul, you accept people. Then when you become bigger, you start throwing out people. That's not the way it works. If you take your space and you donate it to Hashem, you say, this is a bes medrash, mean it to the fullest. That if somebody comes in there, you have to understand one thing. If somebody goes into a shul, regardless of what he goes in there for, either he goes there to drink a coffee, or he goes there and he puts on a song, or he goes there, it doesn't matter why he goes there. He goes there, you know why? Because subconsciously he wants to be connected to Hashem, and he is trained to the fact that this is Hashem's place, and that's why he wants to be in this place. Now, by you kicking him out, by you telling him, you shaygetz, you this, you that, all you're doing is that you're throwing us away for no reason, and you're going to be held responsible for that. And all those things I'm telling you, since I started learning Zohar, and I know all these things, I don't know much, but it comes from a combination of seeking the truth, wanting to know why those things are happening, trying to blame the Rabbunim for it, but the Rabbunim are not to blame at it at all, because they're not at fault, but they will still be responsible for kicking us out, because they were still the ones who did the bad. If you're a Rebbe and you believe what the Torah says, that you should never believe Lashon Hara, so how come my son wasn't accepted in the school here in Lakewood based off the fact of listening to Lashon Hara? If someone could explain that to me, I don't think that there is any explanation for that besides the fact that we all took a wrong turn, we all went south, and we all have to change. And I'm talking to all the Rabbunim, and I'm talking to all the people like me, that we all have to change. We all seek Hashem, we all seek Torah, we all seek bes medrash, we all seek all these things, and there's no reason why we should be stopped. Just because you own a moised and you have an ego does not mean that you could do whatever you want, that you could throw out people, kick out neshumas. Those neshumas are not done with you yet, you know what I mean? Those neshumas will come back to you and target you. Those neshumas will come back spiritually to you, and it won't be good. You'll have to come down to this world again, and everyone has a purpose on this world, and I don't think by kicking us out we will fulfill that purpose. I don't think that by kicking us out or by not accepting us, this Mashiach will come. I think that we all believe that Mashiach will come, and I think that we all subconsciously believe that we want to be good, and it's just that the ego drives us wrong. And I think that we all have to change those kind of things. I don't know how. I think that all those answers are in Zohar, and all those answers are in Lekita Maran, Lekita Aitzes. There's a lot of answers to it, which I found, and it works for me very good, and that's why I don't give two craps about all the Rabbunim. But at the same time, there's a lot of people who can take it. There's a lot of people who go the wrong way. There's a lot of people who do drugs. There's a lot of people who do bad things because of that, and the Rabbunim also do bad things because of that. And since we were kicked out by you guys, I mean the Rabbunim, you guys are responsible on trying to fix that. And I think that that somehow it has to change. I mean, I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. I didn't prepare no speech at all whatsoever. I don't have nothing in front of me that tells me what to say. And I'm speaking just whatever my mind says and about this topic. and I hope I'll feel better after that. And I think that we also start doing the same. I think that if you're subconsciously seeking besmedrish, if you're subconsciously seeking Hashem, if you're subconsciously seeking Torah, I think that you should start going into the shuls and start, going into yeshivas and demand to be accepted. And if you have a hard time doing it, I'm going to put more videos out and watch them, and I hope it will give you courage to do it. I walk into shuls with no problem, and if somebody kicks me out, I give them my state of mind, and you could only kick me out from a shul if you basically how you say it, if you basically if the only way you can kick me out of a shul is basically either if you call the cops to kick me out, which means that you took measures in your own hands. You took this place away from Hashem's living, which means that you said Hashem, you don't have room in my space anymore. And that's the only way you can kick me personally out of shuls. 2 shuls did it already, and I don't think Hashem is there. I don't think, basically, if you kick someone out of a shul, you basically tell Hashem that, I'm sorry, Hashem, you have no room in my shul. And it's not called a shul, it's basically called my own club, that we're going to learn Torah and serve the devil. That's what I feel about it. And if you feel about it the same way, and if we all, people like me, think about it the same way, that shuls will kick us out, or Chadurim, the Moises who kick us out, are basically telling Hashem, you have no room in my place. And they're basically telling Hashem, we'll learn your Torah to serve the devil. And basically that's why the devil has so much power over the world, because that's what a lot of shuls are doing. A lot of shuls are stating the fact that Hashem has no room by us. And what that states it, the fact that you kicked out someone from your shul. So if the Rebbe, if the Ruv himself, the owner of the building himself, comes over to me and tells me that I'm going to kick you out, and they call cops on me, that's when they claim territory, saying to Hashem, with their actions, that Hashem, I'm sorry, you have no room in my place anymore, in my club, and I want to turn it into a devil's club instead of to a house of worship. And now those people who side with the shield do the same thing. That's why they're still there. And those people who don't walk into those shuls anymore, they do the right thing, not because of me, because of us. Because Kol Yisrael Arayim Zeh Lozeh. Now, if I go bad, it's Yurach Rayas. If anyone like me goes bad, it's still Yurach Rayas. And you're responsible for it, because Kol Yisrael Arayim Zeh Lozeh. So that's why you are still responsible for me going bad if I was kicked out from a shul. So on the behalf that the person who walks out from a shul, like I've seen in the past, and I really appreciate those people who did it, I've seen that in the past, that a lot of people who walked out when I was kicked out by the police from those shuls walked out because it shows that they don't want to take responsibility on that, and I think it's the right thing to do. If a shul that kicks out people, it's basically what they're stating is that Hashem has no room. So if people who know about it or who've seen it still stay there, basically they will take also responsibility, because there's 60% of Judaism who don't even keep anything for that reason. 60% of Judaism, of Jewish blood, who were kicked out, and that's the reason why the devil has power over us. And that's the reason why the devil has power, as it says in the Torah, by Amulek, that as long as Moshe Rabbeinu held his hand up, the Yidden were in charge. As long as Moshe Rabbeinu had his hand down, Amulek was in charge. And that's basically, we don't understand what that means. Push-up shot, we know, but what does it mean that Moshe Rabbeinu could, what does that mean? Moshe Rabbeinu couldn't hold his hand up for the people to fight? No, that's not what it means. What it means, we got to understand a little more into it, that now in our generation, we kind of understand it a little more. On the behalf of that part, what I just said, that if we the people let this happen. Basically, we the people, if let me explain it a little better so you understand it. If we the people let a shield kick someone out, it's just because it's your shul, it's your building, the building is on your name, doesn't mean that you have power over there to kick anyone out. I mean, subconsciously, we all want to be connected to Hashem. Subconsciously, we all want to be connected. We all want to learn. We all want to daven. Just because we have a Yetzer Hara doesn't mean that we're supposed to be kicked out. And just by you kicking us out with cops, and by you and by other people siding with you, that gives power to Amulek, and that's what it means. And so now, by the people not siding with that, as I've seen in the past, by the people who walking out with me and not going back to those shuls, and I really appreciate them, not personally because of me, because of proving the fact that Hashem is still in charge, that proving the fact that whatever they did, their actions wasn't right, and I really appreciate that, and I think that that's the way to go. And if more people would start doing that, if more people would stop going into places, I mean, so-called shuls who kick out people, to places who basically stated the fact by kicking out others that Hashem has no room in their fantasy club, I think that will bring Mashiach. And I think that those things will start changing the Rabbunim to the better. I'm not saying that those Rabbunim gotta go, I'm saying that those Rabbunim gotta change. And actually, if those Rabbunim could change, it's much better than changing the Rabbunim. Because Mukim Shebal Shiva Omdem, Tzadikim Gen Miram, Ein Cholim Lamed. If you are stating that Hashem has no room in your spot, in your fantasy club, if you change by your actions the name of Besmedrish or Yeshiva to fantasy club, by kicking out people or by not accepting some of us, I think that you're the only one who could change it by accepting. And if you start accepting as hard as it looks, you will be on the stage of Baal Shiva. It doesn't mean that I'm a Baal Shiva because I didn't keep Shabbos or didn't keep kosher or didn't put film or anything like that. And now I'm also a Baal Shiva, but if you stated that your building has no longer room for Hashem, and now you're stating that Hashem has room by accepting others, you're at the stage of also a Baal Shiva, and you're in the stage of Mukim Shebal Shiva Amdem Tzadikim Gemirim Ein Lecholim La'amed. And I think that this is the right thing to do. So if you feel, I'm going to end it up over here, and if you feel I don't want to take much of your time, I'm going to put more videos out so you can hear more about it. If you feel that this movement that I'm focusing on is the right movement, I would appreciate you help me, and I would appreciate it doesn't necessarily have to come from me. It could come from anyone, and I would appreciate we could all work together. We can all work from one channel. I could speak from your channel, you could speak from my channel. To me, it doesn't matter who does it as long as it gets done. There are a lot of people like me who don't feel accepted, and there are a lot of people like me who, and not a lot, all of us want to feel accepted, and all of us want to subconsciously be connected to Hashem. We just don't know how to. We got lost in the threads, as we say, and we started looking for other happiness because the fact that we got kicked out by all the Rabbunim. And if you feel that you want to help in this project, I think it's a project that it's a very good movement to stop the hate and start the love, and start loving each other, stop hating each other for no reason. I think that we should start meaning what we say, and all the drushas that we say that Mashiach was Shekimen and the Beit Hamikdash is Chura geworden because of Sinas Chinam. I think we should start really meaning it and start not just saying it, doing things towards it. And I think the first step is that all the Rabbunim either should step down or should start accepting people in their shuls, regardless of what the situation is. Regardless of what time of the day a person wants to learn, a person wants to connect. Let's say a person like me, I used to finish work 12 o'clock at night. When else should I supposed to learn if not when I finish working, right? Before I go to sleep. I haven't learned all day, and I want to learn before I go to sleep. At least something. I want to feel connected to Hashem. And by you kicking me out, by you telling me that you have video that I sold drugs in the shul, and you can never show it to me because we both know that you don't have it. Just an example. Just using the method of we have video so other people could believe you. I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's even right to do. I think that's just a act of evil, and I think that has to be stopped. You want to put cameras in your shul, put cameras in your shul. You'll see that people are not there to do other than connecting to Hashem. Some of us don't know how to connect, so instead of kicking us out, if you want to do the right thing, stay up with us and teach us how to connect. Instead of doing the wrong thing, as kicking us out and pretending as you have video of us doing fake things, when you don't even have video, and we have not done any of those things that you say, just so other people believe you on your movement, and it's very wrong. I'm gonna end it up over here. I hope that we make a difference. I hope we come up as one nation. I hope we come up as connecting to Hashem and getting closer to Mashiach and getting closer to the right thing. And if you have any suggestion or anything, I think that you should try to find me so we can kind of like work together. And if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I think you should subscribe, and you can always change your mind if you don't want to be subscribed. And I think that we should start doing the right thing. I'm willing to learn with anyone and everyone, as I have done till now, and I don't know how else to put it down. I'm doing all this in this kiss from all the neshumas that has been thrown out and by all of us. And I hope this will be a chis that will bring Mashiach closer, and I hope this will be a chis that we can all one day say that we are the people who brought everyone back together to Hashem. And I hope this would be the right thing to do. And I hope Hashem will help me do it. And I hope that you and everyone of all of us should. I don't want to be bigger than anyone else, to be honest. I don't want to be a Rebbe, and I don't want to be, I don't think I'll ever take posking of being a Rebbe and all these things, because I don't think I'm fit for that, unless Hashem himself points me out. But other than that, I don't think I'm the right person to do any of those things, but I feel that I'm the right person, same as anyone else, to bring up that topic and start working on that. And I think it's just the right thing to do. So, because I understand it, and I've been through that, and I know a lot of people who also been through the same thing. So, with that being said, I'll end it here, and I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you share it with other people that might, as I'm going to say like this, as long as it brings, that's what it says. So I hope it brings back even one soul back to Yiddishkeit. I hope that I could bring back everyone to Yiddishkeit, but I hope I could bring back at least one person to Yiddishkeit, and that's it. And I know there's a lot of people who will always try to bring up my past, and at some point probably I will make a video of my past. I would probably not leave out anything. I would leave out names because names are not important, but I would probably not leave out anything. This one I'm gonna have to prepare for, to write down to make sure I don't leave anything out. And that's about it. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it means a lot to you, and I hope it changes your view on the world. Don't worry, there is hope. We're all gonna bring everything back together. We're all gonna bring each other back together as a one nation. Am Echad, Yisrael, that's what we all focus about, that we all one. Yisrael, V'rayse, Kiddush B'richi, Chadhi, right? We all focus on that we all won. We all want to be connected, and we all won. And the reason why we all split up like that is because of Avodah Marishan's one neshama that split up to a lot of small neshamas. And our job is to bring all of us back together. And I think that the people who could do that is either the people like me who know what it feels like, not either. I think that the people like me who knows how it feels like, and with the Rabbunim together, and the most nicest thing, the most beautiful thing of Judaism, of Yiddishkeit, will be that we're gonna be arriving for each other, and we're gonna like care for each other in a better way, in a way of not kicking each other away, in a way of not throwing each other out, but in a way of bringing us all back together, and in a way of connecting all of us to Hashem, and forget about all the Gashmias and all these things. Yes, we have to live with Gashmias because that's the way it works, but we can still not forget about the fact of connecting to Hashem. And in the same time, we can still not forget about the fact of being one. Am Yisrael Chadi, that's what we all know, that we all represent one God as one nation, and we all one. So there's no reason why we should imagine if you cut your fingers off because you don't like your fingers, you know what I mean? That's just so weird to do, you know? That's the same thing as we feel like as we kick out someone because from the shul, it's like cutting off your finger, you know what I mean? It's not the right thing to do, you know? So I hope you all have a blessed day, and I hope we all could make a change to the world.